This is a story about how dengue hit our family a few weeks ago.
I have a rash all over my whole body, and I had body aches, and a fever, and a headache. Maybe I have dengue.
Wow.
Skin's really
Swollen.
So red.
Skin's really blotchy. Red all over his body. Spoiler, it wasn't dengue for Pepper. It was typhoid.
It's not dengue, it's typhoid fever. It's really contagious.
All right, we'll get some medicine tomorrow.
Hello. Hi. Oh no, not that.
I might start crying. Okay.
Okay, for more context for this story, know that we're teachers in India. And Jacob here, this is what his skin looked like just a little earlier that day. Jacob's skin is like, his whole body's like this. Hi, Jacob has a fever and a whole body rash. He took acetaminophen and it didn't bring his fever down from 102. We've all been sick. Raven still hasn't been to school, but none had this rash. Okay, should I take him to the hospital or have someone come here? Thank you. Hi, we're at home and ready anytime you can come. And we're lucky enough to have a lab tech who will come to the house and do a draw. Jacob's not feeling well.
Skin's really
Swollen, and his skin's really blotchy. Red all over his body. What do you think, David? Typhoid? Dengue?
Sometimes all test negative, sir. Yesterday start, no?
Just like anybody else would, next we do some research. Dengue fever, or dengue as it's called locally, is spread by a mosquito biting an infected individual and then transmitting that via bite to another individual. There are 4 different strains of the virus. Severe dengue can lead to death. Common symptoms of dengue include having a fever, headache, body aches, joint pains, rash, vomiting, nausea.
24 hours later.
Within a day, Jacob was starting to feel better. And then
3 days later.
Pepper has a collection of symptoms that seem worth sharing. Body aches, itchy feet, has had fever, sweats at night, muscle fatigue, and her vision seems off.
It's a low BP.
Her BP is low, 89/73 with a pulse of 101.
Later that night.
Pepper, why is David here today?
Because my feet are very itchy and my muscles don't feel good. And my hands are itchy. They're driving me bonkers.
And you felt like you had a little bit of a rash yesterday, right?
Yeah,
On your leg?
I feel like tingly everywhere. Like,
And just a few hours later, we found out that Pepper, who had had typhoid just over a month earlier, was also now positive for dengue. But this isn't just a story about dengue in our family. It's not about the doctor I can send messages to at 11 p.m. and get a response and no bill. It isn't about how affordable it is to have a lab technician come and take samples at our home and get the results hours later. Or how, in the middle of all this, our 4-year-old had a horrible UTI that had us in a pediatric emergency room at midnight, bringing up a consultation fee of 700 rupees, lab tests of 1,300 rupees, and a second course of antibiotics for 80 rupees. Don't begin to assume that this is what life is like for us in India. Typhoid, dengue, 4-year-olds with raging UTIs, all brand new experiences to us. And we've been in India 11 years. Hey! Most new experiences we really savor. I realize this is actually about how David is a healthcare hero. David's been coming to our house for a while, coming during lockdown during COVID and doing tests for us there, somewhat teaching our daughter how to do our own tests.
I think we need to start inviting David over for family meals.
And although we really appreciate the work that David does and the ability to stay at home and have samples taken and results sent to us, that he's kind and gentle, compassionate and understanding, I will admit, we'd rather he not have to come to our house. And we're kind of doing everything we can to make it so he doesn't have to come again.
Who knew I'd have so many blood draws in my life?
So, what are we doing about the mosquitoes? Well, you can use pesticides and you can wear insect repellent, but nothing really beats seeing the bodies of mosquitoes. We recently purchased a mosquito trap that we've been using. Check out the results. The mosquito trap, and I'm going to show you how much it's caught. Look at this. Can you see that? Hold on.
A crummy commercial?